Mrs. Packletide's Tiger. By Saki. Question and answers. Question 1. Why did Mrs. Packletide decide to shoot a tiger? Answer. Mrs. Packletide's arch-rival Mrs. Luna Bimberton had flown in an airplane for 11 miles, and this was the talk of the town. In order to achieve something else and thereby to enhance her glory, Mrs. Packletide decided to shoot a tiger, which was a very rare act by a woman at that time. Question 2. What were not the true reasons why Mrs. Packletide decided to shoot a tiger? Answer. Mrs. Packletide decided to shoot a tiger neither to leave India a safer place for people by eliminating one of most intimidating beast, the tiger, nor to follow the way of Nimrod, the great hunter described in the Bible. Question 3. Who is Nimrod? Or explain her sudden deviation towards the footsteps of Nimrod. Answer. A character in the Old Testament of the Bible, Nimrod was a hunter. Mrs. Packletide's deviation towards Nimrod's footsteps refers to her thinking of killing a tiger. Question 4. How was Mrs. Packletide an exception in her world? Answer. Mrs. Packletide was always in a struggle to defeat her society rivals such as Mrs. Luna Bimberton. She risked anything to achieve this. Her ways to bag fame in the society too were exceptional. She thought of hunting a tiger that is unusual even in these days. Her world was one in which women like Luna Bimberton attempted to gain fame by exceptional ways, but she remained extremely exceptional by hunting a tiger. Question 5. How did Mrs. Packletide make circumstances propitious? Answer. Mrs. Packletide was very much smart in her decision to kill the tiger. She made her tiger hunt propitious by choosing an infirm two-aged tiger to hunt. She paid a big amount of money to the village headman to get his people to assist her till the end of the much-publicized hunt. Besides, she got the help of Miss Louisa Mebben to assist her for the tiger hunt and be a witness of her brave act. Question 6. What qualities qualified the tiger in the story to be the most suited one for Mrs. Packletide's plan? Answer. The tiger that Mrs. Packletide chose to hunt was an infirmed one. It was extremely aged and therefore unable to move easily. It could not chase and kill a mere deer. Its only prey were small animals such as rabbits and sheep. Question 7. What were the two instincts that rendered the villagers to accept Mrs. Packletide's offer of 1,000 rupees? Answer. Most of the villagers readily helped Mrs. Packletide for money, while some of them liked this idea for the fun and adventure of hunting. Question 8. Why were children posted on the outskirts of the jungle? Answer. There were chances that the tiger could have run away from the jungle where Mrs. Packletide had decided to hunt it down. If it ran away, then the villagers would miss their chance to assist Mrs. Packletide to hunt it and thereby their reward. To keep the tiger in the same forest, children were posted on the outskirts of the jungle. Question 9. Why were cheaper kinds of goats left about with elaborate carelessness near the infirm tiger? Answer. The tiger that Mrs. Packletide decided to hunt was aged and infirm. It was not able to hunt anything that was bigger than a hare. To keep the tiger in the same jungle and to stop it from running away, goats that bleated at all times were left near the tiger too. Question 10. Why is the goat's bleat said to have been a gift? Answer. The goat's bleat was persistent. It was a gift that the goat possessed such a bleat because it could easily attract the tiger to the tree on which Mrs. Packletide was waiting to kill it. Question 11. Why did mothers carrying their babies home through the jungle after the day's work in the fields hush their singing? Answer. The tiger that Mrs. Packletide chose to hunt was extremely aged and infirm. Mothers carrying their babies back home were asked not to sing songs for their babies because it was believed that the tiger could be scared away if it heard them sing. Question 12. Who is Miss Mebben? Answer. Miss Luisa Mebben was a shrewd woman. She used to assist people for money and traveled abroad with them for any amount of time. She pretended to be a well-wisher to anyone she assisted, but in fact she exploited them in all possible ways. Question 13. Explain Louisa Mebben's elder sister's attitude towards money in general. Why did she adopt such an attitude? Give an example for this while she served Mrs. Packletide. Answer. Miss Louisa Mebben was a shrewd woman who pretended to be a protective elder sister. She behaved with the people she assisted in their tasks as if she didn't want them to incur any loss of any kind as long as she served them. Her asking Mrs. Packletide not to shoot the goat in case it is not eaten by the tiger is an instance of this. Question 14. What was Mebben thinking of when the tiger just appeared? Answer. When the tiger appeared, Mebben was thinking about selling the leftover of the tiger when it is killed by Mrs. Packletide. She had come to the sad conclusion that there could be no profit out of selling the remnants of the dead tiger. Question 15. What did the tiger do when it sighted the tethered goat? Why did it do so? Answer. The aged and infirm tiger didn't attack the goat instantly when it sighted it tied to a tree. Instead, the tiger lay down as if to take a brief rest before eating the goat. Question 16. Why did Miss Mebben want the goat unhurt? Answer. Miss Mebben always exhibited such an attitude in front of the people she served that they felt that she was their well-wisher. To give Mrs. Packletide a similar impression, she suggested that the goat not killed so as to save Mrs. Packletide's money. Question 17. Why were the natives excited about the news of the tiger's death? Answer. The natives had been offered an amount of ₹1,000 for helping Mrs. Packletide kill the tiger, and because of this they were excited to hear the news of the tiger being shot. Question 18. Who discovered that the tiger had died of a heart failure? Why did it annoy Mrs. Packletide? Why was it pardonable? Answer. Miss Louisa Mebben discovered that the tiger had died of heart failure. This discovery annoyed Mrs. Packletide because she feared that people would soon come to know the truth about real hunting story if Louisa Mebben opened her mouth. Her sudden annoyance is pardonable because she had all the reasons to feel annoyed about such an unpleasant and disturbing discovery which threatened her hard-earned fame. Question 19. Why were the villagers ready to connive at the fiction that the tiger had been shot dead? Answer. The villagers were ready to connive at the fiction that the tiger had not been shot by Mrs. Packletide because they had been offered an amount of ₹1,000 for helping her to hunt the tiger and later to take the news out of the forest to Lunabimberton and to the rest of people. Question 20. Why did Mrs. Packletide face the press cameras with a light heart? Answer. While facing the press cameras, Mrs. Packletide had a light heart because she was not worried about the possibility of Miss Louisa Mebben's revealing the truth about the real tiger story to the public. Besides, she also knew that the villagers would conceal the real side of her tiger hunt as they too were paid at large.
If you like the video, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe the channel for more videos. Thank you.